see? It's not hard at all. So I'm going to show you what the distance formula is so that I can say that I've showed you, but you don't have to do it as the distance formula. So the distance formula, D equals a big fat square root of y minus y squared plus x minus x squared. So that is the distance formula, but I don't like it, okay? You probably have not worked with the distance formula. You may have a little bit. But how many people know the Pythagorean theorem? What's Pythagorean theorem? What is it? Y'all know what it is. With triangles, what is it? Anybody on Zoom know what the Pythagorean theorem is? Y'all are disappointing me. This is the only class in 15 years. Nope, 15 years that has not answered this question. 15 years. No Zoomers? You don't know Pythagorean theorem? Now do you know Pythagorean theorem? A squared plus b squared equals c squared. That is the distance formula. It's just a different form. Okay, so it's the same thing. And you guys already know that formula, so it's easier for you to remember than to try to figure out the distance formula, okay? Is everybody good? Pythagorean theorem. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this graph, number one, and just like we were doing our slope, we're going to find our rise over run, but that's what we're plugging into the distance formula. So we make a right triangle because that's what the Pythagorean theorem deals with. We're going to count our boxes. So this one is 6. And this one is 7. And that's your A and your B. Okay. Does not matter which order you put it in at all. So I'm going to put my 7 first and my 6 second. Again, it does not matter. And then for today, I'm going to let you give me decimal answers, but for your test, you are not going to see decimal answers. But we'll learn on Monday how to simplify square roots, okay? So today you'll see square roots, but we're just going to put in the decimal and be done. On Monday, we'll learn how to simplify them. So 7 squared plus 6 squared, you can use your calculator on this. 7 squared plus 6 squared, clear that out, gives you 85. And then in case you didn't know it, to solve this, to get rid of a square, you take the square root. Okay. That key on the calculator is second and your x squared key. So second is the blue key, x squared is right here. You see the little symbol right above it. Okay. So in your calculator, you'll do second and the x squared key. And you'll type in 85. And today you'll give me the decimal round to at least 2 decimal places. So 9.22. That tells you that that line is 9.22 units. Okay. Again, today I want all decimals. On your quiz, I'll show you how to get the answers, okay? So I'll do one quiz question with you. So don't get off when we finish our notes. I'll do one quiz question with you so you know how to find the decimals, okay? So you can do that. All right, so check out your next one. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to do our rise over run. Here's our rise. Here's our run. So we did a rise 1. And we ran 9. It does not matter what order you put them in. Just square them both. 1 squared plus 9 squared equals c squared. Then use your calculator from here on out. 1 squared plus 9 squared is 82. And then what's the last step that I need to do? Yeah, square root. Square root. So second and x squared to get that square root. 82 and hit enter. And we get 9.06. If you give me 9.05, that's fine as well, okay? So don't stress too much about your rounding, just give me 2 decimal places. Okay. Look at your next one. You're gonna make your triangle, doesn't matter if it's on the top or the bottom. We did a rise of 1 and a run of 2. Those are our 2 numbers. 1 squared plus 2 squared equals c squared. You can use your calculator, you can do it in your head. 1 squared plus 2 squared is 5. And then take the square root. You get 2.24. That's it. Anything hard? Everybody good? So on graphs, we're doing rise over run, and then we're plugging it into our formula. Well, what about this one? Does it have a rise and a run? Can I make a triangle? No, so don't try to make one. All you do is count the boxes. How long is this line? That's what we're trying to figure out, is how long the lines are. How long is this line?
6.
That's it. That's all you do. Don't do any more with that. So maybe write that on your paper. Count the length. So any vertical, or even on number 5, the horizontal, you can't make a triangle. Don't try to make one. You can't do it. Count the boxes. How long is number 5? 4. That's it. Okay, on number 6, now you can make a triangle because it's a diagonal line. So I'm gonna make my triangle and count my boxes. Make sure you count the boxes. They were both 5. So we'll do 5 squared plus 5 squared equals c squared. Go back to your calculator. You get 50 equals c squared. And then take the square root of 50. And we get c equals 7.07. That's it. All right, so the graphs are really easy because you can do your rise over run perfectly fine. What happens when you have coordinates? What happens when you have coordinates? There's a couple things you can do. You can either graph it, but y'all, to me that takes forever. But to be sure, you can graph it and make your triangle, and that's fine. Or you can think about a number line. And what I mean by that, this x-axis is a number line. -5, -4, -3, -2, negative. Y'all understand what a number line is, right? Okay. So look at your x's first. How far is -2 from -7 on a number line?
-5.
And we don't even have to use the negatives because we're going to square it. So just how many units apart are they? Then on a number line, be careful on positive negatives. That's where you'll mess up. How far is +3? So +3 would be like right here, and -7 would be down here. How far apart would they be? 10. So think about that number line. Those 2 numbers are your rise and your run. Now you can do your Pythagorean theorem. So you would do 5 squared plus 10 squared equals c squared. So again, you can graph them if you want to, but it's actually going to take longer. Okay. So then 5 squared plus 10 squared in your calculator gives you 125. And then the last step is to take the square root. And what do we get? 11.18. That's it. So same exact thing. Guys, make sure that we're focused on me and not on anything else while we're in here. Okay. All right, number 11. I'm going to skip number 9, go to number 11. On a number line, how far is negative 10 from negative 8?
2.
2. How far is negative 7 to positive 1? 8. Those are your two numbers that go in your Pythagorean theorem. 2 squared plus 8 squared equals c squared. If you write them backwards, that's fine. It doesn't matter. Use your calculator. 2 squared plus 8 squared is 68. And then take your square root. And we get 8.25. Any questions? Yeah, pretty simple, right? Yes, ma'am. That to find the actual square root symbol, second and x squared. So your blue key, and then this one right here, this x squared. And you'll see it in blue above it. You'll see that little checkbox. Okay. Look at number 8. How far is 2 from negative 1 on a number line?
2.
2 to negative 1. A little bit more.
3.
Girls. We'll have to look at it. It's you at a regular one. Do you have the square root on your phone? Hold on, guys. Okay, turn your phone sideways. Yeah. Is the square root symbol there now? Yeah, it should be there. But I don't know if you have to put the square root in and then the number, or you have to put the number and then hit the square root button. All right, negative 9 to 4. I'm gonna come help you in a minute. How far is it from negative 9 to 4? 13. So those are my two numbers, 3 squared plus 13 squared equals c squared. We're gonna do 3 squared plus 13 squared. We get 178. And then we take the square root. And we get 13.34. Try number 12 on your own. Real fast, try it on your own. All right, how far is it from negative 6 to negative 2? 4 units. Negative 10 to negative 10? 0. So you can just leave it like that. 4 squared plus 0 squared equals c squared. Use your calculator. That gives you 16 equals c squared. And this one just happens to be perfect. So when you take the square root, you get a whole number. Anytime you get a 0, the other number is going to be your answer, because this is either a horizontal or a vertical line. Okay, so if you don't want to do the work, you don't have to do it. So once you get that 0, you know that this is actually your answer. Okay, let's go one more page. All right, so how do I do a vertical line? Just count the boxes. How many boxes did I have? Count them again. 5. That's why I put the dots in there, so I can for real see it. All right, number 14, make your triangle. We had a rise of 1, a run of 2. So we're going to have 1 squared plus 2 squared equals c squared. What is 1 squared plus 2 squared? Say again. 5. Take the square root. What's the square root of 5? We already did this one, or one like it. All right. We get number 16. Rise 1, run 5. So 1 and 5. We get 1 squared plus 5 squared equals c squared. What is 1 squared plus 5 squared? 26. Good job. And then we take the square root. What do we get? What do we get? Yeah, you can do 10. If you would have given me 09, I'd be okay with that as well. Okay. All right. We're going to do one more graphing and then do a couple of the points again. All right. So make your triangle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we get 1 and 7. 1 squared plus 7 squared. Perfect. It's 50. And then take the square root. I don't know. What is it? 0.7. Everybody good? All right. 3 more and then I'll leave you alone. Actually 3 more and then I'll show you the quiz question so you guys will be able to get it right. Okay. So bear with me if you're on Zoom. 3 more and then I'm gonna go over a couple quiz questions you should be able to get right. Okay. How far is it from 6 to -5? A little bit more? 11. 11. Basically, you just add them together. Okay, so if they're opposite signs, add them together. If they're the same sign, just see how far apart they are. 4 to -1.
5.
Perfect. So we're going to have 11 squared plus 5 squared equals c squared. 11 squared plus 5 squared is 146. And then the square root of that is 12.08. Perfect. All right. Like I said, 2 more and then some quiz. 10 to 9 on a number line.
1.
1 to -4. 5. So we're going to have 1 squared plus 5 squared. We already did this in number 16. So what do we get in 16? 26. And then take the square root and we get 5.10. If you gave me 5.09, like I said, I would be okay with that. All right, last one we're going to do on this. -5 to 8 on a number line. 13. 6 to -4. Perfect. We're going to do 13 squared plus 10 squared equals c squared. 13 squared plus 10 squared is, I got 2 plus 13 squared. 10 squared is 100. Yeah. That's all right. And then take the square root of 269. 16.40. All right. Any questions on this at all? Super simple. Tomorrow's even easier, I'm telling you. This little unit that we're doing right now, you should be real good with. All right, look at your quiz real fast and then I'll leave you alone. All right, so the first one, just so you can see it. Oh, this is your homework. This is not your quiz. You don't have homework. That's the thing we post just if you need help. All right, here's your quiz. So remember on our graph, we're going to do our rise over run. What is your rise and run? 4 and 3. So I'm going to do 4 squared plus 3 squared equals c squared. I should see this work, guys. I should see this work. Put it in your calculator. 4 squared plus 3 squared gives you, this was the worst one I could have done. And then take the square root. Square root of 25? 5. It's all right. All right. So now you know question 1 is Z. All right, I'm going to do question 2 with you. How many's on here? 10? Look at this. You're only going to have 8 questions. I shouldn't have done that one. Do your rise and run on number 2. What is it? 9 and 4. So we do 9 squared plus 4 squared equals c squared. I don't think I want to do this one either. Hang on to that one. You finish that one up. Look at number 5. This is one I want to do. I want to show you how to get the answer, but it's not exactly on there. I'll explain it in just a minute. Go to number 5. You finish up number 2 on your own. I at least gave you the rise and the run. What's your rise and run on this one? 4 and 4. So 4 squared plus 4 squared equals c squared. 4 squared plus 4 squared is 32. And then I take the square root. Okay. I'm going to look first to see if this square root of 32 is on here. 34 is, but that's not my answer. Y'all understand that, right? Everybody good? So then I'm going to go ahead and get my decimal. What is the square root of 32? I need to find one of these answers that is going to be the same. So watch how I do that. When I put in just the regular square root 34, I already knew this was not the answer, but I'm showing you. And I get a decimal. You guys see that decimal up there? We know it's not the same because I should get 5.65. Let's try 3 square root 5. Do you see how I put that in? Type in 3 and then square root 5. When you hit enter, you get 6.7. Is that the same as my 5.56? No, so that one's not your answer. All right, I'm going to try 2 square root 2. That's 2.8. Is that the same as my answer? No. 4 square root 2. Is that the same decimal I got? That's what I wanted to show you. So in our last section, we'll learn how to simplify those so we make it look like these answers, but that's too much to do all at one time, okay? So that's what we'll do on Monday. All right, Zoomers, I'm going to stop sharing, stop recording.